Okay folks, camping season's here, it's cold, and you're going to need heat. We've got three heaters here I wanted to look at. The first is an old Coleman 5000 BTU model 511A. This is a non-adjustable, it just puts out 5000 BTUs no matter what you do to it. The next one is the Coleman 5 to 8000 BTU adjustable model 515. And next we have the Mr. Heater. This is the Portable Buddy. I believe the model number on this is MH9B. Now, since I've had a lot of inquiries about this heater, I'm going to do a little discussion about it. This is an older model. You will see there's no hinge for the handle. It doesn't fold down like the newer ones. The fuel inlet is fixed. There's no hinge there. Your control knob is of a different design than the newer one. This one you turn down, rotate to your pilot position, and on the back of the heater there is a push button for the piezo igniter. This heater was purchased new in 2005. I believe I purchased this at Bass Pro Shops in Houston, Texas. There's a possibility it may have come from Gander Mountain, though. I just don't remember. It was that long ago. This one works great if you want to burn up a bunch of propane and are willing to spend the money. There are some problems with it. There's some advantages to this one. Unfortunately, I don't have a 1 pound propane cylinder, nor do I have a filter for the bulk tank, so I'm not willing to hook this one up right now. But let me clue you into a couple of the advantages of this one. Number one, this heater will shut itself off with low oxygen, so you're not going to get carbon monoxide poisoning. By the same token, with any fuel burning heater, you should be giving yourself plenty of ventilation. Also, this heater will shut itself off if you tip it over. The Coleman, and we're going to look at the bigger one, runs on white gas only. It is not a multi-fuel appliance like their newer ones. This thing was built, I'm going to have to look at the date stamp, but I believe it was built either in the late 60s or very early 70s. No newer than, I'd say, about 1972. That goes for both of these. Shy of an earthquake, I can't see what's going to tip these things over. And as long as you're providing plenty of airflow, there really shouldn't be a problem. Lighting instructions, these take longer to light than the Mr. Heater, but they're also far more foolproof. The adjustable one, the directions are written right on the label opposite the Coleman label on each one. The adjustable unit, you simply raise your lever to the light position, open the lid, remove the snuffer, and I don't have any fuel in it right now, but you would turn it upside down till you get a little spot of fuel right here. Light it, and once that burns down, it'll start catalyzing fuel across the whole dome here. To put the heater out, and it does take some time, it takes about 15 minutes to light it up. To put it out, simply place your dome, your snuffer dome across the element, and there you go. The hinge on this one is a little bent. I'll have to work on that. Operation on this one is similar, but not identical. There is no adjustment lever. There's just, you apply fuel around and then in a cross, light it. Same thing, once it's heated up, it starts catalyzing, produces heat. I've used all of these heaters in various situations, and to be blunt, the large Coleman is by far my favorite. The portable buddy's great. It consumes tremendous amounts of fuel, particularly if you're using the 1 pound cylinders. It gets really expensive to operate. This thing, I can run probably 4 overnights on one tank filling, and if I remember right, the tank holds about a half a gallon of fuel. So the Mr. Heater on high, you get about 5 hours per pound of propane. When you consider that, depending on where you're buying the propane at, 1 or 2 pounds of propane cost about the same as a gallon of Coleman gas. It really doesn't bode well. Okay, now this is something I wouldn't even consider doing with my stove or my lanterns. I mean, I did, but I got real leery after I tried it. This camp fuel was bought at the same time as these appliances, and this particular can has never been opened. It's still in the factory seal. All the research I've done says it should be good, but I'm not gonna run this through anything that has an orifice tube or can get gummed up, varnished up. These heaters are a perfect target for this stuff. There's very little to get fouled up in them. They're very simple. It's just a wicking that does it. The adjustable one, the wick just moves up and down. So I'm not worried about varnishing anything up. I would not recommend, and I've got another video that shows me lighting off, I believe it was my lanterns, with the same fuel probably about 6 months ago. So we're talking 12-year-old camp fuel. Wasn't the smartest thing I've ever done, but it worked. I don't want to do that repeatedly out of concern for fouling up the innards of the lantern. I had to rebuild the stove. There's more videos on that out there. So, yep, we're going to run the heat on this. And, well, my soonest opportunity, I will get you a video of lighting these off one at a time. And I think I'm going to have to go get some 1 pound cylinders of propane, and I'll show you how each of these is lit and operates. Okay, Mr. Buddy Heater, the portable Buddy Heater. Propane's connected and tested. Okay. So there's the flame. Okay, we've done 30 seconds. And there we are on low. I'm going to go dim the overhead lights so you can see what this looks like. Alright. There it is. There's the low setting. I'm going to turn it up now. And there's the high. That high puts out 9,000 BTUs. It's 1,000 more than the big Coleman. Sorry, that was my bad. Since I'm doing this in the dark, I couldn't see the low setting, but your low setting there puts out 5,000 BTUs, which is the low setting on the big Coleman and the only setting on the little Coleman. Okay, so we have a Coleman Model 511A 5,000 BTU heater. This was, well, I have to check the serial number, but this was produced sometime from the late 1960s to early 1970s, probably about 1969 or 1970. We're going to show you how to fire one of these things up. We're going to do this partially indoors and outdoors. I want to do part of this indoors because I want a clearer picture. The outdoor stuff should be fairly obvious. First things first, obviously you need fuel. You need a fuel funnel. This is the Coleman filter funnel. It comes with their liquid fueled appliances. I think they're about $5 at Walmart, something like that. I don't know, they're cheap. These things work. I don't know if you can see, but it's got a little gas relief vent. They work on the principle of gravity, so you want this to go in with the slash pointed up, with basically away from the heater. So if I can unscrew the cap, we'll place the, and actually help open the lid, give us a little more clearance. There we go. And you see how that's probably not perfectly level, but that's pretty good. Now we're going to use some Ozark Trail camp fuel. And remember, when pouring, turn the can away from yourself with the spout top up. Okay, we're not going to fill this all the way up. This is just for a demonstration. Barking, the neighbor's dogs decided to be rather vociferous again. At least it's not 2 in the morning. Anyway, time to demonstrate lighting and running the Coleman 515 heater. This is the adjustable 5,000 to 8,000 BTU unit. There we go. Okay, so first thing we do, open up the lid, uncap the snuffer, and per the Coleman directions, flip the lever to the start high position and turn the unit upside down. There we go. Alright, that one is not the 515, but that's the 511A. This is some testing I'm doing on my own. The instructions for this unit say to pour a cross of fuel across the dome and put fuel across the outer ring. But I'm trying to start it up by doing the flip it over, get a spot. Although I did swish the spot much bigger than on the 515. Just get a spot going and let it start catalyzing from there. So we'll see how that's working. Okay, the flaming has stopped. The 511, yeah, you can see the orange glow there. The 515, you can see a little bit of the orange glow, but it's not as readily apparent. So, lessons learned. Swish the gas around the dome top. So basically when you're flipped it upside down, kind of tilt the heater and rotate it around so that the gas spreads a bit more on the element. Right now, the 511 is distinctly hotter than the 515. Even though the 515 I know gets hotter from prior experience, it definitely takes longer to warm up. Now, with the propane heaters, most notably the Mr. Heater, the instructions from them say to push and hold the what's the word I'm looking for? The pilot position for 30 seconds, light the pilot, and then hold it open for 30 seconds before letting it go, and then turning it on, turning it up. The process really does take a bit longer than that. Yes, the Coleman takes longer. I'm not doubting that in any way, shape, or form. But it's much more fuel efficient. That little 511's just cranking out the heat right now. Okay, well, the 515 went out. So we're swished it around same way I did with the 511, relit it, and we'll see how that works. Okay, well, the flameage has stopped on the 515. It's still set on high. Oh, no. I got some glow starting there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can start seeing it. Okay, well, give you an idea. The 511 apparently starts much faster. There's the 511. And that's just glowing away like a volcano. It's actually making me sweat how hot that thing is. Again, 515. And, yeah, there you can see it. The catalytic reaction is starting up. Alright, there it is. It's not fully engulfed yet, but it's climbing. I am zoomed in on it. I'm probably about 6 feet back from the heater, and it's my knees are a little warm. Once the catalyzing grows up a little more, gets closer to the top, I'm going to turn it down to the low position before I snuff it. This was just done for the demo purposes, but okay. So, lessons learned on, well, honestly, the lesson was learned by experimenting with the 511, but it applies to the 515. Take your heater with a full, or with fuel in the tank, cold. You want to take your heater cold with fuel in the tank, turn it upside down, and tip it in a circular motion so that you're, well, coating a fairly broad area of the catalytic head in fuel. Make sure it's sufficiently dampened. You don't want just that little dot that everyone shows. And light it off and be patient. It's definitely hot. And the 515, the one that I'm showing right now, is distinctly hotter than the 511. The 511 is actually not too far, maybe 2 feet behind my back. The 515 is, like I said, about 6 feet in front of me. And my calves are getting hot. My back is comfortable, but my calves are getting hot. And the temperature is dropping outside here, by the way. Okay, so the real takeaway from all of this, that Coleman 515 is definitely a hot heater. The 511, definitely putting out the 5,000 BTUs. Honestly, the 515 I think is underrated as far as its heat output. I'm standing outside here, and I don't know if it's heat output or just distribution compared to the Mr. Heater Portable Buddy, but I'm certainly far more comfortable out here than I would have been with a Portable Buddy. With proper ventilation and ensuring that the lid is closed properly so you're not getting anything on the element, keeping combustibles away. This is a very safe heater. It does not have the extended safety features that the Portable Buddy has. I still think it's got a little more function. So that's it. I'm going to alter my tagline a little bit here right now, because this isn't necessarily all just shop stuff. So I'm going to tell you, get out to your shop, get out to your deer blind, get out to your campground, whatever you're doing. Be productive, be busy, be safe, but most of all, be blessed. I'll talk to you later.